Hey folks, back in medieval Minecraft creations, or actually, I think I changed the name of it. I forget. Season 2. Okay, so continuing. I've been doing some tutorials here lately, and trying to get away from those big long builds, if you remember. Um, Also, kind of like this is sort of like a continuation of what the theme was of what I was doing last time, which is looking at some buildings off of pictures that I basically just got off of random searches on Google and just kind of using the buildings as a starting off point to kind of inspire me to build things. So I'm sure things like this have been built before, but this building here is quite unique. I went kind of above and beyond, and it was kind of an interesting build. As you'll see, it's not really it's sort of a windmill, but you'll see what I mean. It's just kind of a bizarre design. I'm just kind of concentrating on building the frames here with the wood and yeah, it's really not too difficult to build. If you want to take the time to slow this down, do it bit by bit, and build it yourself, you can. Um, I know sometimes it's an arduous task, but I have so much footage here. Would it be like 45 minutes or 3 episodes or whatever? So I really just I like trying to get this stuff compacted in one episode. I really don't have much to talk about usually, anyway. So yeah, commentary. Well, what should I talk about today? Because basically, I've been doing a lot of work with the Minecraft Survival series lately. If you're subscribed to my channel, you may have noticed. But this is sort of my flagship kind of show, so I'm going to come back to this always at every point. And I have been doing a few things here with this world, kind of off air, that maybe I'll show someday. Just kind of laying out where the all the cities are going to be as far as their coordinates go. That's sort of what I've been mainly concentrating on lately. And that kind of thing is really probably kind of boring to watch people do, so I decided not to make a video on that. I didn't think really it'd be all that interesting for people to watch, so I got like my teleporting locations all laid out in that tower you'll kind of see behind this thing here. It's kind of made out of brick, and yeah. So this texture pack, like if you're new to the channel, this is not my texture pack. I basically altered Dokucraft's texture pack to be a little more for my use for the world. So basically, whoever made that's yeah, gets the credit. And actually, I don't even think the original creator is updating Dokucraft anymore. I'm sort of getting the legacy pack or something now, and I haven't even upgraded it lately. So a lot of these new textures that came with 1.6.2, I don't even have made. I haven't made anything new for that. I haven't checked if they have any new textures for it. But yeah, in the future we're going to be adding in a lot of those like things like the horses and stuff to these stables I've been building, and other things, just things to liven up the area. I'm really hoping that, again, like I said before, they need another creative update, and they need like colored stairs so I can actually make roofs of different colors for different buildings and all that. I had to basically greatly alter some of the existing stairs and wood colors to get that blue and that red you'll see in some of my buildings. So yeah, that's sort of sad. I think that I'll go through the effort if they'll make a new creative update for the game to actually change things and use their textures instead. But they're new blocks if they decide to ever do this. So I don't know. I'm really anxiously waiting to see where they're going to take Minecraft next because ever since 1.6.2 came out, hasn't been any weekly updates. It's been about a week and a half, 2 weeks since this horse update came out. Actually, about 2 weeks at least. No, actually, been longer than that. I'm trying to remember what the date was. Yeah, I haven't seen any snapshot updates. I go to the wiki to see what the snapshot updates are. Usually, they'll update that every so often, and there hasn't been any updates. So I don't know what they plan on doing. I hope they do plan on making more. This game, like I said before, a lot what limits it is that the game itself is the base game itself, I should say, is lacking in things that they really need to start putting in some of these mods. And they're I'm gonna give them credit. They're doing that. They put the horses in. That's a good first step, and you had to balance all that, and that's a whole thing with that. So that's good. I'm really hoping that we can add more mobs to the game. We need more interesting mobs. Um, I don't know what. Probably just some ambient animal things running around, kind of like what they have for mole creatures. Since they worked with the guy who created mole creatures, that mod, they have a good working relationship. So maybe we can hope in the future that some of the other mobs that he's created for the game will be put in. I really hope so. So yeah, that's sort of my hope at this point. But I would also like to see some other mobs in the game, like ones that you would fight. Now that I'm doing survival, I'm fighting zombies and skeletons over and over again. Be a little boring, even though they are challenging, just because I'm doing it on hard mode. It's a big pain because they keep those zombies have new characteristics where they respawn in and all this stuff, and if you kill one of them, and yeah, it's a whole thing with that. And I don't know. I don't mind hard mode, but it's like the zombie spawning in thing was not really my thing. I think it's making it almost too difficult. But the rest of the game can be quite easy once you get diamond armor, diamond weapon. I mean, the game is easy. I understand why they do that. So hopefully they'll add some more interesting things. I mean, I heard that they may someday do a dragon. Now, not an ender dragon, but like a regular dragon that sort of spawns in the regular world. How they would do that, I don't know. I looked at on the wiki for some of the things that they had proposed in times past, and that was one of them. I don't know if they even really intend to do that. I would like to see things go more of a medieval direction. Like maybe you would actually have in things from the Goblins mod, like hostile villages and things of that nature. And in encountering, I really am not a big fan of the testificates, the villagers. I really would rather have seen sort of traditional dwarves and elf villages, and maybe having the elf villages being in the woods and the jungles, and dwarf villages maybe being underground or something. You would encounter like huge caverns or something. I mean, there's so many great ideas they could do with this. I really hope they make it. If I was a mod maker, I'd be making all kinds of stuff right now. But I am, like I said before, I don't put mods in the game because I just got so afraid from all these websites that host these mods that I'm just afraid to upload things to these mod sites that host things. I should say file hosting things. I really hate them. The MediaFire and AdFly and some of them other ones. A friend of mine, his computer got completely messed up from one of those sites from trying to download a mod for the game. I've gotten viruses in times past from that too. Basically downloading Minecraft mods, and from another game too. I was getting mods from one of those things. So the internet's a dirty place, Just I accept that. Yeah, I understand that. And there's so many mods I want to put in this. I'm not gonna do it. Just because I'm not gonna risk my computer to do that. But yeah, because otherwise I would be adding in all kind of like adding new blocks, and I'd probably put the Aether mod in, and all kinds of things. I like the Better Than Wolves mod. That looked neat. I never had it on here. I do like the little mini map one I did have in my previous season of the survival series. That little mini map thing, Ray's mini map, I think it was called. The timber mod was nice. I really almost think they should put something like the timber mod into the base game, where you can actually fell a tree in one blow. It's kind of unrealistic for the game to have trees just sort of hanging there in air, and the game is just sort of slow paced. I'd say, like when you're starting up. I think that would maybe add a little more to the game if you just make starting a little bit quicker and easier like that. I would like more tree types, more biomes. The extra biomes mod looked interesting. I almost got that at one point. Didn't, but I'd like to see some of that, like full glaciers, and and like I said, for making this world here, I use World Painter, which actually isn't really a mod. It's just sort of an external program I use to make the world. And they really need to stick things like that, like in the game, where you can actually like pause the game, build a mountain, then come right back in, or build some sort of a way to like pause the game and go in and do some heavy editing like you do in MCEdit, or that's my preferred editor. and or some of these other ones just having it just basically built in. I'd also like to see the game actually kind of improve with some of the frame rate issues. Really, things have kind of gone downhill with that since the past couple of updates. Had problems rendering things in. I don't remember being quite so bad in times past. It just seems like things have past 6 8 months or so with the game have been a little bit sluggish. Is what I could say. I guess that's the best word for it. But yeah, so I'm trying to fill up all this time here. This was a long build, but I'm not a big fan of putting just the music in. I still like to actually give people something to listen to and talk about and think about. And yeah, that's sort of what I do with this show, you know. I do more talking though in my survival stuff, a little more off the cuff stuff. But this here, I'm trying to think about what am I going to talk about. What am I going to talk about? So, well, basically, because I haven't made a show in this for a couple months. I guess basically I'd like to talk about just some of the changes that have happened since the last time I made an episode of this. And I go through phases and past. Oh, I don't know, even since last season, last 10 episodes or so, I just felt like I've been pushing and forcing myself to make episodes, and I'm just not going to do it anymore. I said that before. Just like, so that means a slower pace, but hopefully higher quality stuff like what you're seeing here. To me, it was a great build, a lot better than the buildings I was doing in the old days. Going out, risking things. So I think it came out pretty good, as you'll see here. Little doodads here and there. Those are buttons, basically the wood and stone buttons to decorate things. Always applying some of those fence posts all over the place here. There's a lot of new blocks and new textures I should be using, and I'm gonna start trying to experiment with them a little bit more. But yeah, this one's already kind of coming to an end here. Even putting the signs down like this is a nice design element sometimes. I didn't go too crazy with it too, I don't think. But I kind of went around with that, and yeah, wasn't too bad. And really, from a creative point of view, for this kind of a show, I'm just really a lot of what holds me up here is that I don't have the limitless possibilities of just having a wide variety of blocks, and we need more. We need more stone types, colored stone, colored woods. It'd be so easy, and I got a feeling like they're just on the brink of making this stuff. You know, I got a feeling they're going to make another creative update. It took them like a good year and a half, 2 years now, and I've been waiting for that because the colored wool update, that was probably like the last creative update that they've added a lot of stone in here, different stone types, particularly the stone brick, but that was really all back in the beta phase, So it's been so long. So yeah, I threw a couple lamps down here also. I might actually end up using my redstone lamps and just put a switch on the other side of them at some point. And just to maybe give it a little decoration, you see I put some vines in. I didn't really want to go too overkill with this, but you can leave it completely free of the vines, or you can go crazy with it if you want one of these sorts of buildings out in the woods somewhere. A couple cobwebs too here and there actually gives a nice look to it. And up here on the top in a minute, I put in a chimney basically out of stone. And I was looking at when the picture I was looking at, it was sort of like a steampunk looking kind of building. Let's have some cobwebs up there for smoke, and we're really at about the end here. I know the interior again, I did not do anything on the interiors, but I really not too big on interiors. It's more about the external look of things. And I know someday I'll probably come back and do some internal stuff for this. It'd be great if I could make this into a kind of like an RPG if they gave me the tools to do that. I'd love to learn how to make that stuff, but I'm not a programmer, so we'll see someday perhaps. So I guess this is it. This little panoramic pull-out view, and yeah, that's it. See you next time, folks. Adios.